there! Today we have an exciting mission to conquer the world of VM backups in Google Cloud. We'll get started in a brand new project, then head over to the Google Compute Engine service to launch a small VM to serve as an example backup source. E2 should do the trick. Even though the VM will be torn down after our demo, it's good practice to be frugal with expenses while experimenting. Now, click Create. Our VM is up and ready. Now let's plot our backup strategy. Off we go to the backup service via a search in the Google Cloud Console. Contrary to what you might guess, the backup and DR service isn't nested under the Compute Engine menu. It's an independent entity. Once enabled, this service can be used for both Google Cloud and on-premises workloads. For our adventure today, we are focusing solely on Google Cloud. To set up your management console, simply select a region. For now, we'll settle in US Central and use our default VPC with the Private Services Access connection. Now, Google's managed services, including the backup and DR service, can communicate with our VPC resources. Moving on, we'll deploy our first backup recovery appliance. These appliances do the actual legwork of backup processing and storage. The appliance is conveniently hosted on a standard Compute Engine instance in the Target project. Choosing our backup alliance brings us to crossroads. The best option depends on what resources you're backing up. Backing up Oracle databases? The standard middle option could prove best. But for today's expedition, as we're backing up Compute Engine VMs, we'll choose accordingly. Google creates a service account, which the managed backup service can use for resource orchestration. Be patient, as the management console can take up to 40 minutes to fully provision. Eventually, the management console will be up and running and waiting for your command. Keep in mind this isn't a part of the Google Cloud Console proper, despite the similar aesthetics. It's a completely separate web application, but is still managed by Google and integrated with the Google Cloud Authentication System. Skipping the tour, let's dive into action. To start, navigate to our newly created backup page, where we'll handle backups for the Compute Engine service momentarily. Speaking of which, don't forget to keep an eye on Compute Engine in the console to see how things like the appliance installation are shaping up. There we have it! Both our appliance and the original VM we started with are present and ready for action. Let's return to our application manager and ensure our appliance has that critical connected status. Ready for one last sanity check? Let's verify that credentials and authentication are prepped for backup work. Looks good. This is the service account that Google provisioned automatically. Let's jump back into our DR work now. Let's search, and there's our hero, the demonstration VM. Select that and click Next. Normally at this point in the workflow, we'd assign a backup template based on the nature of the workload. However, let's put a pin in that for now and hit Unmanage to keep things moving. Settle in, as this can take a minute or two. Alright, now we've got our VM instance cozily tucked into the applications list. I know what you're thinking. Let's get back to that exciting backup template stuff. Head over to Templates, hit Create, and give your template a name. We'll need to add some policies to be able to proceed. Let's add a snapshot policy to our arsenal. How about capturing a snapshot a day without much concern for the exact time? And if our heart's desire, we could amp up the retention days. You typically don't want a bunch of policies in a single backup template, but for the sake of demonstration, we'll add a few and then pull it back a bit later. Alright, now we've created all three policy types: mirror, snapshot, and on vault, all of which are visualized nicely in the graphic. If we venture down a bit, we can spot the workload compatibility matrix. As an example, Compute Engine VMs are only compatible with snapshots. Our overloading of policies will be an issue later, but let's save for now and navigate back to the world of applications. Now, for our VM instance, we can edit the backup configuration. You might have noticed these resource organization methods, logical groups, and consistency groups in a number of interfaces at this point. They're for efficiently managing your resources at scale, but it's a pretty simple setup that we won't talk about today. Our demonstration template doesn't mesh with this instance. Again, this was due to the incompatible policy types. But no worries, we'll mix the mirror and on-vault policies, then get our VM on that refined demonstration template. Looking to save a penny or two? Use the regional snapshot storage instead of the multi-regional option. The multi-region should be only for the most critical of backups. If we do a pit stop at our dashboard, we can see that we've got one job up and running. Now, to peek beneath the hood, let's head on over to the cloud storage bucket linked with our backup system, where we can see some data related to the backups. Just remember that the exact backup storage details will depend on the asset type, your chosen backup profiles, and your DR service configurations. For the final act in our play, we need to restore the VM. So, we'll SSH into this instance and purposefully mess up the system. Don't accidentally do this on a real production VM. By nuking the root directory, the ls command is nowhere to be found, along with a myriad of other issues. The moment of truth. We can restore order by hitting Recover, selecting the instance in question, selecting the earlier snapshot, and choosing the Restore option. Note that there could of course be data loss here, since we're overwriting the active persistent disk, but we do actually want that. So let's go to our job monitor and be on the lookout for recoveries. After a few short minutes, our job has completed successfully. We can clear this running status to see the older jobs that have finished. Now go ahead and SSH into the test instance. And voila! We have our ls command back, and our machine has been successfully restored using this backup and DR system. We'll keep an eye on the comment section for any questions and want to thank you for watching. Please enjoy responsibly.